Hey there folks, Tori here from the Amazing Brick Network. We're building set 80107, which is the Lego Spring Lantern Festival. And I was super pumped to be bringing you this set. I had to wait for ages for it. It felt like an eternity. I was super keen to make it. This is a beautiful Chinese themed set that Lego put out. And there is another one that's called The Story of Nian or Nyan, depending on how you say it, I guess. But I would say Nian. That's what I'm doing. But that's not even the set we're talking about. This amazing set, it celebrates the Spring Lantern Festival. There's a light brick involved. You're going to see so much detail in this set. And I'm not even kidding. I made this all pretty much in one sitting. Generally, I try to take my time as I'm filming because I still want to enjoy the build myself. I mean, the sets aren't cheap. I do want to enjoy them. But this was such genuine fun to make, even whilst filming, that I found myself, before I knew it, filming the whole thing, building the whole thing, and just generally loving every single step of it. It was such a well-designed and well-put-together set that it was truly a joy to build. And as you can see here, there's just stacks of detail the entire way through. At the moment, we're building the general base structure, the footpath that goes around, the entrance is there on the left. But what you're going to eventually see is that I'm building the waterway, which we'll eventually cover with blue translucent bricks. And they even feature koi fish in those bricks as pre-printed, no stickers in this set, which thank goodness. It made it really classy, very easy to build, and certainly a lot more enjoyable, considering that at the moment Lego is making us struggle through a glut of stickers. So it was really refreshing to not get a single sticker in this set. Even the banners and pennants that you will see on the side of the building later on in the build, they were absolutely pre-printed. They were actually printed on some sort of plastic. It's a weird feeling plastic, but they're printed straight on there that you can get them straight up. And I'll be looking at certain parts of that with you shortly, or in a little while here, because we're still early days. But see how you can look down at the detail there. You can see the fish. And I love the way that the blue translucent does go over the top, giving it even more texture. The water effects in this set are wonderful. They certainly reminded me, I'm currently also building the Ninjago City Gardens, and there's some great water features there as well. You've done a great job, Lego. I do think that this looks utterly wonderful, and we're incorporating just a couple of still shots on different angles just to give you a feel for the build there. Certainly worth adding in and giving you a bit of time to see what's happening, because I have sped this up quite substantially, I know. Those figures there, they do actually have the number 2021 on there. Interesting, pre-printed, having the year on there. I think that's a really cool move. It's certainly something that for collectors and investors, I think that will drive up the value of those figures in years to come. Quite simply that they've got a unique printed piece on there with a year on it. I think it was super clever, and well done Lego on that. And also the color was very unusual as well. To the left there, if you've never seen one before, that's a light brick, and there's a knob on the side. You push it in and the brick lights up. It's a Lego compatible brick because it is made by Lego. And there's a little plastic tab underneath that you pull out to activate the battery. You're going to see that in use later on, though. It won't look so effective because I have some very bright light shining down on this particular build. So as you can see, all the other more important detail. So as you can see here, we've got multi-level riverbed. Now, this is the part that we're putting the bull together, and this was really cool. So this will be up on a pedestal shortly because I'm building so fast you can barely see my hands. And I don't know if you can make it out there, but there's some of those pre-printed bricks that I was telling you about, and it's utterly lovely. If you looked for a fraction of a second, then you would have seen the brick light activated. At the end of the day, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I felt weird about this even being sped up to the 15-minute mark, because in all actual reality, this was well in excess of a 5-hour build with about, I think, 1,700 pieces in it from memory. So I really went to town on this because I was having so much fun, but I wanted to put it together quickly for you. This has actually been complete for a couple of days now. I just needed to find time to chat to you and do the voiceover as I normally do. So these are the actual edges of the walkway to enter the park where the Lantern Festival's taking place. And with all of this build, there's just stacks of detail. There was nothing really left to the imagination. That little bridge that I'm putting together, I love the technique with the curved archway pieces being used underneath to form the steps. It almost seemed like a waste of such cool bricks, but the overall effect was quite seamless, and it gave it room. As you'll see here, they're going to go on those circular pieces here. There we go. Now, it did help retain an archway shape under the bridge in order to give that illusion that something could pass underneath, whether it was just the fish or whether it was a little boat maybe, not included. But now we're going to start building up some of the plant life. These little lilies look awesome. I was really stoked on those. And that crown piece, I've told you guys before, but just in case you don't remember, those little crown pieces there, they were first used in a set that came out in the Lego Movie 2 collection. So they're not old at all. They're for the princess's crown. And now we're building up the bamboo. And once again, not overly complex, which I really liked. It's funny, this set offers so much to all different levels. And the beauty of it also is it's like, is it part of a landscape set? Is it part of a modular building set? Because it certainly fits within that criteria. This used one standard 32 by 32 base plate and a 16 by 32 base plate. They clipped together like you'd expect any other modular building, and it just works so well. So you'll be able to place this in to what you've already got, your other modular buildings, your other cityscape, and it's going to fit in like an absolute glove. These are some of the important lanterns here. Now, I didn't make any mistakes with them, and I have in the past, but something that did frustrate me just a little bit is the separation of the lantern, the actual rope that holds them, which has been used in the past as rope, but also for ladders, for Spider-Man's webbing in the past. It wasn't spaced as well as it was in the actual photos. I have to quickly go here for you guys. They're the plastic banners that I told you about. And the weird thing is there's actually two of them and they go back to each other. But the irony is, I don't know if it's a Chinese tradition. I'd love to be educated on this. The message that's on the back banner isn't visible even if you look at the banner from the back. So if you rotate the build around, you can't read it. Like the writing is facing forward, at least on the instructions. So I'm not sure what that is, why there's a double message there, why there wouldn't just be one banner. Did Lego miss something? Pop a comment below if you do know more than me on this one, because I would really appreciate the insight and the information. And hey, while you're at it, hit that subscribe and also, click the bell for notifications. But going back there, this set would fit beautifully within most structures, and I can't wait to see it featured in some of your builds. I think this will give plenty of people inspiration to do parklands. They're exceedingly cool, and I love the tiling and detail on the entrance here. The way that the arch is done as a circle, it was just super awesome the way it was done, and the extra detail on your traditional lamps as well. That was cool. It gave the Asian theme something very much to go on. It was really beautiful. I think that it fit the aesthetic very well. And I think that they've absolutely nailed this set. And there's certainly something that no one can complain about, that's for sure. Now, this is that area there that has been completed. I'm just accentuating it with the minifigures that came with the set. Unfortunately, because of the speed of this build, some of the details been lost. But the little guy up on the bridge, he's got two faces. One, he's just happy and he's eating his, it looks like tofu. And the second one, he's got his little face all as though he's about to vomit. I chose the vomit face because I thought it was funny. And now we are building the little 16 by 32 half. The supporting system in here was interesting, using the bricks that were there. I don't know if there was a reason for it, whether there was space constraints, but it made it fun to do the underside, which could have, to be honest with you, in my opinion, it could have just been, 2x4 bricks. I do like how they did this. I think it just added a little bit of a building challenge to the instructions, which was cool. And I love how all this is coming together so beautifully. I really liked the bullion bars, how they were used as cobblestones. And I think this effect is something that I'd love to see Lego doing more of in the future. That little minifigure there, she is a little cutie, and she's got a little bunny rabbit that's on a roller skate. I have no idea what the relevance is of the roller skate, and I'd rather not give too much thought to it. Building this area here that you can see up the back, it's going to be a rocky area that has actually got like a little pagoda on there, and it was really cleverly done with those little A pieces, and they built up. There was a lot of snot technique used to cover up those studs. That means studs not on top, in case you're new to all this. And I thought that it was a really tightly built design that certainly at the end, totally aesthetically pleasing. There's nothing to fault in this set at all, in my opinion. I would have loved to have seen in some of the grassy areas, maybe just a couple more, like maybe sprigs of grass, or, you know, just something to accentuate that as opposed to some of it being smooth. But wait till you see how this rock area gets built up. It looks utterly stunning. It's very cleverly done. It was relatively challenging. This part here was relatively challenging to build, and I did have to pull it apart a couple of times, though you may not notice that very much because I have sped this build up so much. I certainly leave the mistakes in there so as you can see them. Now this is the really clever, cool bit. So as you can see, all the rocks are there, and we're doing, it's not that they've given us burps or lerps. You had to make them yourself here, big ugly rock pieces, little ugly rock pieces. So you're making your own burps and lerps there to go around. And I do think the brick built ones are far more satisfying than the dog ugly ones that Lego does sometimes give us to build up a set. I always see builders trying to accentuate those, for which I'm grateful. They are truly ugly rock pieces. Now this is the top of that pagoda area here. And this was clever, and it was a challenge, and even though it had a certain complexity to it, I did find it relatively easy to make. It was very strong. It didn't want to fall to pieces, for which I was very grateful. And that part there with the green little sticks holding everything into place, that was really cool and easy. Just a bit of repetition here to put these guys all the way around to give some lattice work to it. And I did find that as it all built up, it looked utterly wonderful, beautifully designed, and certainly something that you can show off to your friends. I do know that as soon as I made this, even my mother, I sent it straight off to her saying, check this out, it's utterly beautiful. And her reaction, even as a non-Lego fan, was, yeah, that looks amazing. So this is a set, a display set. I think it is beautiful. It will certainly look great if you do shows when we can do them again. And I do think that it will inspire a whole bevy of builders to get into it. Check these out here. This was really cool, very well thought out. I was just thrilled the entire time. That little fig there that you can see on the side also is pretty cool. Now we're building up the bamboo on the side so as we can connect it to the other bamboo, if you recall, that I had made previously. So that was really neat how it does bring the two parts together. And we're doing some more lanterns here, and they fit on really nicely as well with their printed pieces. And I thought that was a glorious thing indeed. Building up some more of the wall in the same style as on the other side there on the 32 by 32, just to keep everything consistent and, you know, totally themed, that you can pop them together and they do just give you this beautiful, consistent viewpoint to work with. This is an utterly gorgeous set, guys, and I would thoroughly recommend, if you can get your hands on it, please just get it without hesitation, because it's nothing short of beautiful. Now we've almost finished the actual builds themselves. I took a lot of still shots here because I thought it would be worth having a look at stuff not going on at the speed of light, and that way you can sort of enjoy it a little bit more too. So we're now in the still shot part. As you can see, the final fig there was actually a statue for the park, and you've got the bull up the back there with the light piece inside its belly. Minifigures there with the clearly discernible 2021. I thought that was super cool. You can see the actual banners now. See the second one behind it? That is in the instructions to have it like that. But the really weird thing is that you simply cannot read what it was meant to be saying. So if any of our Chinese friends do understand why it is like that, please pop a comment below. I'd like to be educated on these things, because this build super excited me. I had so much fun with it. I want to understand more to expand my knowledge on the culture. But all things said and done, I think this is an Asian garden that everyone can be really proud of. Congratulations, Lego, on a fantastic set. There's the little guy trying not to vomit, holding it in as he's still got food in there. So hopefully he can keep that in his belly. Beautiful overhead shot. This is a absolutely great set. And I'm glad if you did stay with me for the entire build, because I thoroughly appreciate it. Stay tuned. There's more great builds heading your way. But as always, thank you so much for sticking with us at the Amazing Brick Network, and always happy building, guys. Thanks for watching.